Welcome back, Captain Stancom here, and this is the latest installment of the definitive guide to every clone trooper LEGO has ever made. And this is a subset of my Know Your LEGO Clones series here on YouTube, and if you're interested, I'll provide a link for that series in the description below. And before we get started, as always, I'm just going to ask that you please subscribe to this channel. I've already made several videos in this series, and I have a bunch more in the works, so be sure to turn on notifications so that way you know as soon as the next video drops. And with that being said, let's jump into the video. So today's character is the original V-Wing / ARC-170 pilot, and this clone trooper was featured in two different sets. He first appeared in 2005 as part of the ARC-170 Starfighter set, and there were 3 of these clone troopers featured in there to man all 3 of the positions. And the next year, just one of these figures was featured in the V-Wing Fighter set number 6205, released in 2006. Now this figure is often thought to represent the clone troopers that appear in the initial battle sequence over Coruscant in the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, whether it be Oddball or one of the other clone troopers that are fighting in the ARC-170s beside Anakin and Obi-Wan. However, that is actually not the clone trooper, and because of that misconception, LEGO fans often think that LEGO is just being cheap using this helmet mold that was enclosed rather than making a new open mold for the pilots of the ARC-170 and V-Wing. However, that is not the case. This character actually is based on Star Wars Clone Wars, the 2003 to 2005 series. And you can view Star Wars Clone Wars in 2 different ways. There's a first part and a second part, or you can see it divided into 25 different episodes. So in episode 23, or in the latter half of the second part of Star Wars Clone Wars, there is the attack on Coruscant, and there are ARC-170s as well as V-Wings that are involved in the fighting in the skies. And those pilots are featured differently than the pilots that are seen in the actual Revenge of the Sith film. And those pilots, rather than having open helmets, actually have enclosed helmets. So rather than this being a mistake by LEGO, LEGO is instead basing these clone troopers off of what was seen in this animated series rather than in Revenge of the Sith. So that's just something interesting to be aware of. Bricklink even has them classified as part of Legends rather than part of Episode 3, so you can see that these clone troopers are actually more accurate than they first appear to be. And because these clone troopers with the closed helmets are different than most other clone troopers, they are not featured in any other form of Star Wars in this particular style, and thus this style of clone trooper does not appear in any video games either. Taking a closer look at this figure, we'll start out by looking at this trooper's helmet. Now this helmet print is unique, however, the helmet mold is used in 9 other clone troopers, and that includes the 2 versions of the Star Corps troopers, the 2 versions of the Shock troopers, and the original Phase 2 clone trooper in white armor. Next, his head is black, which was standard from 2002 to 2008, and this was one of 11 clone troopers that had black heads during this 7-year run. And then there are 2 more clone troopers that do have black heads, one from 2010 and one from 2011. Next, we'll take a look at his torso, which is not only unique, but also the first time that there is printing for a clone pilot in LEGO Star Wars. And while his torso is unique, his arms are not, as this sand blue color appears in 5 other LEGO clone troopers. Also, his white hands appear in 5 other clone troopers as well, but this is the first time and only one of 10 times that a color other than black is used for the hands in a clone trooper. Finally, his sand blue legs appear on 3 other clone troopers, all of which are other pilots. Now this clone trooper does not come with any accessories, and only 2 of the clone troopers in the ARC-170 come with weapons, those being a bullhorn blaster with a translucent blue stud on the top. And in the V-Wing, that clone trooper is not given a weapon either. Now this clone trooper is one of the cheaper clone troopers to purchase. As of summer 2022, his average cost is between $5 and $10 depending on whether you purchase him new or used. And there you have it, the original V-Wing / ARC-170 pilot, who is not actually from Revenge of the Sith, but is instead from Star Wars Clone Wars. And that's where we're going to leave it until the next installment. And that next installment will feature the original Phase 2 Shock Trooper. And if you want to see that video, be sure to subscribe to this channel and also turn on notifications so that way you know as soon as that video drops. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And of course, a like is always appreciated. And until next time, this is Captain Stancom, signing out.